Hi everyone, welcome to Club 2, Episode 4 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. So, whilst being a bit misleading because we now only play the teams in the lower half of the table for the rest of the season because that's how the Welsh Premier League divides after 22 games, things have gone remarkably well, even if we are playing those lower teams. So you can see that we're on a bit of a run of form at the moment. I've changed a little bit of how we're playing. If we go into the tactics, it seems a bit odd at this sort of level of football maybe, but we're playing the Gegenpress because I think that for this half of the season we are playing the lower half and we sit on top of it at the moment. So we've got to try and dominate as much as we can. I started playing a counter-attacking style, but realised that in this particular scenario we need to be the team on the front foot. So we're trying to win the ball higher up and do something higher up the pitch with it. So that's why I've changed, and it seems to be working pretty well. I mean, all the games so far that we've played in, you can see have been fairly close, really. There's always been pretty much one goal in it. But most often than not, we've come out on the winning side of it, which is really positive. Today we play against Llanelli Town. Llanelli. Not really sure how to pronounce that still, but we'll go with Llanelli. And so we're going to be playing them today in the Welsh Premier League. We've got 4 games left. The other thing to say, a question I asked of myself in the last episode that's now been answered, is that however many points we get, we don't go up a place anymore because it's sort of 2 divisions really within the one division now. After the divide, we can only be the best of the rest in that sense. And that's our intention. We're 7 points clear of Luton and Bangor, and so we've got to maintain that and see if we can finish in this 7th place comfortably and really push for next season, getting into this top half after the 22 games to see if we can continue to improve this team. What I'm realising about this team is that, possibly with the exception of 1 or 2 sides at the top, is that we compete reasonably well. And that's a real positive moving forward, because I think after a summer of movement, I think I can improve this side in terms of the personnel that we can bring in and the sort of the addition of some better attributes for some of these players. So I think that come next season we can really improve. You can see the likes of the goalkeeper, and we've got Edwards at the back, and we've got second Edwards playing today because McBurney is on international duty with the Wales under-19s, which is positive, but it means that he misses. But you can see we've got a couple of players, their star ratings aren't quite as high as other people's at the moment. And again, with the striker Graham, we've got a better striker coming in already next season that I've shown you before. So he'll play second position behind the new striker next season, Graham will. But having said that, he's got 4 in 6. And it's been really encouraging. So I think with a better striker coming in next season and Graham as the backup choice, then I think we've got some firepower all of a sudden, which is really going to be positive for next season. So yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with how things are going, but we've got to maintain the trajectory, and we've got to maintain the focus on winning matches. So Llanelli Town are today's opponents, as I say. You can see that they sit currently bottom of the division, quite comfortably so, by 5 points. So in theory, this is another very winnable game for us, as all of these should be. And I expect our run to continue. So let's just confirm the team news. As I say, McBurney is the only one that's out today because he's on international duty. So the team for today will be Brass in goal, Tatum at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Edwards in central defence, Smith, Harris and Edwards in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Parry on the left and Graham up top, with Hope, Harden, Roberts, Riley, Rogers, Gareth and Barrett on the bench. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've, for the first time potentially, really laid it on the line to them and told them that I fully expect you to keep our run going and win this match. That hasn't sort of got much of a reaction other than the fact that people are listening, but it's the first opportunity really to lay it down on them and say, I've now got expectations on you. I said in the last episode that I was going to sort of take it a bit slowly in terms of how I ingratiate myself into this side, just because their support of me isn't there yet. But I think we've got a good opportunity here, so we've got to try and take it. So we're at home, which is positive. We're in our red kit as usual at home, and Llanelli are in the blue, and we'll see how we go. So we pick up the ball with Graham in our striking position. He's dropped deep to get the ball, puts it through for Sarmento to take it on, and on to Smith. Down this right-hand side with Tatum. Can he get a cross in? He can get the cross in. It's half cleared, but on the volley from Parry, it goes slightly over the top of the bar. Good build-up play. You can see that we got a lot of people involved in that move, which is positive. Didn't quite have the quality on the finish, which is unfortunate. Corner kick for us. Harris on this right-hand side. Cross comes in, cleared and cleared again, but we pick up the loose ball. Back to Harris, cross to the far post, and there's Parry on the far post with a header this time. Last episode, it was a volley, a really good volley for Parry. This episode, you can see that the build-up play is good. They clear it, they try and clear it again, but we pick up the loose ball, goes back out to Harris, who crosses to the far post, and Parry meets the ball with a perfect header and puts it in the back of the net for 1-0. And fairly early in the game, after 15 minutes or so, we take the lead, which is really encouraging. A couple of yellow cards for them, which is also encouraging that they're stressing themselves out a little bit. Hopefully, there was a highlight there that was over very quickly. I didn't really see what happened, but we didn't quite get the ball in the back of the net, so I guess that's all that matters. Here now, Llanelli come down the left-hand side for them, work the ball, but we get a foot in. This is the gegenpress working, I hope, and demonstrating that we can put the pressure on, but they do get an opportunity, and just as I'm saying that I hope we keep them out, we don't, and we go back to a 1-1. It was a slightly unfortunate goal to concede, really. There was a couple of opportunities where we probably should have done better in terms of getting a foot in just there, and then the defender not running back with the striker in the way that I would hope for him to do. Owens unfortunately got a bit of a tangle and didn't turn in time and run in the way that I hoped. But here's a highlight straight off the kickoff, so hopefully this is encouraging from our point of view. Tatum down the right hand side but loses the ball, and Llanelli come back at us down this left hand side, but there's the press on. They go long over the top, but there's nobody there, straight to our goalkeeper Brass, and he'll have an opportunity to restart the play for us. And we come down this right-hand side again with Tatum back inside and keep it central defence, keep the ball nicely up to Graham. And again, over the top, very nice in and out from the striker line back into midfield and then over the top quickly for Harris to run onto. And a good strike brought a good goalkeeping save. The corner comes in, but they clear it quite comfortably on that occasion. Again, we're down this right-hand side with Tatum on the throw-in. Can we keep the ball? No, we lose the ball, but regain it and then lose it again. That's par for the course at this level of football, I would suggest. But again, we pick it up in our defensive area. And can we slow the game down enough to pick out a decent pass? Not quite on that occasion. They go long over the top, but again, it just drifts through to the goalkeeper and we get a chance to rebuild again from the back. And he goes into midfield this time with finds it's Harris and Edwards playing keep ball over the top for Graham. Now he runs onto the ball. Can he find the finish? Graham with the finish? Not quite. The goalkeeper stands up well, makes himself big and gets a block on the shot. But a good movement again with some good interplay in midfield, leading to an opportunity for Graham over the top. And we find ourselves at 1-1 at half time. But I would suggest, in terms of the stats of the game, you can see that we're having the better of it. So hopefully I can encourage them that we are playing the better of the sides. Let's see what's going on. Let's give the performance. No, I think we'll go with I'm pleased with how things are going, keep it up. They seem to switch off with that, which is bizarre, isn't it, really? Considering that I think we've had the better of the game. But anyway, hopefully the fact that they're a bit miffed by that will make them play better in the second half, and they'll want to prove something to me. But we'll have to wait and see a little bit on that. 57 minutes gone and there's not much happening in the second half. You can see nobody's having any major opportunities at goal. Here's an opportunity for Llanelli though, on the right hand side with a free kick. It gets partially cleared, but again they pick it up with a long shot, and that was some shot, wasn't it, from Royal, right on the edge of the box, about 20 yards out. They pick up the loose ball and there's an offside. Oh, that's unfortunate for them, I would suggest, but very fortunate for us. It was such a good strike, but there was a couple of attacking players right in the middle of the goal that were offside, so it was disallowed. Corner comes in for us, and it is again partially cleared, but Edwards picks it up for us and keeps it well back to Gardner, who goes over the top, but there's nobody running onto it, and the goalkeeper gathers the ball quite well. And again, they go long, but we pick up the loose ball. Tatum at the right side of our defence. And he goes over the top, but we lose the ball again. We're not quite picking those right moments to go over the top. This time they do, and the strike puts it slightly wide though, and it never really challenged the goalkeeper. At this point, we're going to pause the game and make a couple of substitutions just to see if we can unlock this game in the last few minutes. So we got apprehension from Somento, so he can come off with Gareth coming on. Graham's coming off for Barrett. And we've got one more to make, and I think we're going to take off Tatum, who's had a lot of the game but hasn't done enough with it, and we're going to bring Harden on for him in the right back role. So those are the changes that we'll make for the last 15 minutes or so of the game, and see if we can just unlock this. Unfortunately, Edwards has now picked up a knock, which is unfortunate. I don't think he'd had that before. I missed it if he had it when I was making changes, but a slightly disappointing result, really. I wonder whether it's just the fact that McBurney's come out the side and we had to rearrange a few little bits and pieces, but slightly disappointing. I'm going to have to tell them so as well. So assertively we'll say you were not good enough today. Against the bottom side in the division, that's the sort of game that we should be winning, whatever point of the season we're in. But, you know, there we go. Unfortunate. We got a draw, and it's another point on the board, so we'll take the positives from it. Spoil shared as Pete and Connor's key renewed acquaintances. Apparently he's an old guy from our side. Okay, he wasn't around with me, so that's fair enough. Edwards is injured for a couple of days. That's not too bad, and McBurney will be back hopefully for next game. And people are watching our players, which is interesting. So he's watching this guy who's on loan from them. That's why he was there watching him. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about this guy, whether I'm going to try and keep him or whether I can find a better option for next season. We'll have to find out. But yeah, all in all, a slightly disappointing fixture, slightly disappointing result. But in the broad scope of how things are going this season for us since we came in the latter part of it, it's not going too badly at all, is it? Look at that run. So we've got 3 more games left. I'll be back for the Luton game in the next episode just to close off the season. And then I can go through a summer transfer window and try and reshape this side for next season. But you can see that there are some positives there. We are definitely able to cope with this lower half of the table. Next season, we're going to have to find a way to cope with this higher half of the table for the first half of the season and just see if we can get ourselves in it for when that split happens in the middle of the season. But that's for next season. For this season, we've got a couple more games to go. I hope I'll see you for next episode. That'll do it for today, though. So I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, then why not subscribe to the channel? Keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, why not click a like on it for me? That really helps to get seen by other people. It's really important for the growth of my channel. So please do that for me if you can. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, I hope you're having a great time doing it. Let me know how you're getting on in the comments below. Always interested to hear your stories. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.